songs, let me tell you about a friend. It's Craig LeBlanc, where the good times never end. Talking Parks and Rec, it's a show you gotta know. Welcome one and all to the Daily Parks and Rec Show. It's the Daily Parks and Rec Show.
The realness of it is really important, I think, to the listener and the watcher to be able to say, well, yeah, I've felt that, and I went through this, and this is how I overcame it. And that was the cool thing, is they talked about where they were at and how they overcame that. And I think people can take those kind of situations away.
All right, we are live again. This is Craig LeBlanc and Papa J, my twin brother out in California. He's been tanning a lot more than I have, though.
Yeah, beautiful days out here in California.
But we go to the same barber.
Yeah. Yes, we do.
Yeah. Yeah, so for those of you who hadn't seen, Papa J's been, what, is this your third or fourth Friday coming up? Show?
Probably the fourth. We started early May. So yeah. It's been a hoot, man. I love this.
And I've been telling people that any moment you could be retired. I don't know if is this the week or was it next week?
This is the week. This
Is
Friday.
the week. No way.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, before we get the show started, we got to ask a little. So what's it like? Because how long have you been in Parks and Rec? Has it been like 2 or 3 decades, 4 decades?
It's been at least 4 decades. I'm 63 now, but I tell the story. I actually started at 7.5, volunteering as a junior CIT, and I've been in Parks, Recreation, Community Services ever since. And it's been life-changing and affirming. Man. Once we get into the show, we can talk about some different stuff.
Yeah.
It's been really cool.
I want to hear all. Awesome. I want to hear all about it. Because it's a big life transition.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But it's been awesome. And there's my wife threw me a retirement party this last weekend, and we could talk about that. There's been some really great leaders and mentors that came from across the country. I was really surprised.
No way.
Came up to California. Yeah. Some really great things that were said, and you never know what kind of effect you're going to have over people, on people, not over people, but on people. And there's a story I'll tell once we get into it. Are we going to do our usual?
Yes. Okay.
I don't want to give too much.
That's right. This is the teaser. This is so that people won't.
I learned from John Prue of what to do.
What to say.
I guess my list is called the John Prue What to Do list.
Right. That's it. He keeps us organized. He's like our military sergeant that keeps all the troops in line. And when we're all like cats, he's the cat herder.
He's the
we're the cats.
And you're the doorman.
Yeah.
And I'm the doormat. So there we go. We get all the doors.
I would like to be the doormat. That's cool. Collect everybody's dirt.
Oh, I love that. That's good.
All right. So we've got a new little thing. First, Carla, why don't you put up our YouTube push? I don't know what we're going to call this, but all right. So we're asking everybody to help us get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Fortunately or fortunately, we have not really promoted our YouTube channel, and that's where the entire content library sits. So if you have an old episode, or if you want to go for like continuing education, if you're in aquatics, all of Wesley's content is perfect for continuing education in the aquatics field. So if you could help us, go get all your children's phone and log on to YouTube and subscribe to us for them. we just need to get the algorithm opens up all kind of new functionality for us so that we can stream live on YouTube and add that to one of the social media platforms that we stream live to. So that's kind of our big push there. So go do it. Then now pull up our TV guide. Here we go. This is all the shows. Look, we got all the schedules, the shows, the logos. And so we also are going to scroll through them one at a time. So go to the leadership series, see if that's next. All right. So this is my show. This is the one that I still host 4 days a week. And it's where I find great Parks and Rec people and professionals like Papa John. And I think he might even hold the record before he became a host. I think I interviewed him like 3 or 4 times.
This number 5. Remember, I get the cup.
Yeah, that's it. We're gonna have to get like some kind of medal of honor. I'm sure we'll tap John Prue, see what the rankings should be. It'd be like the sergeant or lieutenant general, something like that. Lieutenant colonel. Yeah, so this show is Monday through Thursday, 12 noon Eastern time. And then also on Mondays, let's see what the next show is. See if it's in the right order. Oh, it is. Yeah, so this is our first Monday of every month, Parks and Tech Collective with Ali. He's the show host, and they talk about software in parks and recreation. Software is becoming such a big part of everyone's life. And it really does make your life a whole lot easier when you got a good software, even though sometimes they're a pain in the butt to kind of learn their systems or stuff. They have a really cool system. The show is also sponsored by Amelia, one of our big strategic partners. So hats off to Amelia. All right, let's go to the next one. Dave Ramirez. He has been in, Johnathan, I don't know if you knew Dave before. Did you ever run into him? He was been in Parks and Rec for like 30 years.
I probably, well, just because people have been in them for a long time, it's not like, oh my, that's really bad. It's like, hey, your last name is Skinner. Do you know this guy named Skinner? He's in, North, France. Do you know that guy?
Right.
But no, I might have met him before, but definitely, know him now. He's in Florida. We're both anglers.
Oh, yes.
We believe a lot in technology. The thing is, about all of our parks and everything, so much stuff goes on while we're not there, and it's great to be able to use your phone or tablet or whatever to take care of things that are happening in the parks when you're not there. So it's really incredible.
Yeah, I mean, now you can turn off a light switch with the flip of a on a iPad, control all of your infrastructure. So imagine being able to like lock your bathroom door locks from your cell phone. Of course, that you might only give that power to the director. That's too much power for like some assistant director. I don't know if they're ready for that much power. But they can turn on parking lot lights, baseball field lights, you name it. They can pretty much anything that needs electricity, which is pretty much everything. They can turn it on and off from an iPad or from your desktop. And so we talk about all the hardware technology that's coming in. His whole show's about that. So that's the second and fourth Monday of every month. Normally it would be yesterday, but he had to push it back 1 week. All right, so let's go to our Tuesday show. Johnathan Prue. I think y'all knew each other, right?
Yeah, John and I go back several years. He's one of the first people I met when I started doing stuff for NRPA.
Yeah.
We were on the CPC, the Conference Planning Committee, for several years. John is an icon in Parks and Recreation, but the military part of it, which I think is so cool, is a lot of people don't know there is a specific military section that takes care of all of our men and women across all over the world, making sure that they have a recreational outlet. And John does a great job of bringing in professionals to teach people like myself. I have a big military family background with my dad and my son and my son-in-law, but it educates those in the military, but especially those outside the military, gives them that information that's really good. And of course, he's a staunch professional, and he's one of my heroes, definitely.
Yeah, he really is. Has taken all of our shows up a notch. He's so well organized. You can tell he's got that military background, and he's been serving. It's called MWR. The military is known for acronyms, and so they almost speak in acronyms. I'm always having to say, what does that mean? But MWR stands for Morale, Welfare, and Recreation. And they create programming not just for the soldiers, but also for the children, because a lot of the families live on base. And so they have Parks and Rec programming all run by MWR in every military base across the world. And so he's able to bring on all the people that kind of run that and talk about how they do Parks and Rec in the military. It's really cool. All right, let's go on to the next one. All right. Now, Thomas had threatened to come on the show today with us. He may still join us. but he has helped us host and actually put together the rec room. And so that's Henry County, Georgia. And they pick a topic in Parks and Rec, whether it's festivals or master planning, or we've even done a whole show on accounting, which was a great show. They brought their CFO in, and they just pick a topic once a month and just bring all the stakeholders, and just, it's kind of like pulling the curtain back and seeing all the details of how a well-run Parks and Rec department handles all these different scenarios that pop up, and programs and events that a Parks and Rec department has to run. And then also on, this is a Safe Space, is also on Wednesdays. This is the first Wednesday of every month. This is also kind of the brainchild of Thomas White. He talks about neurodivergence and mental health. And maybe you could speak a little bit about the role that Parks and Rec departments play in the mental health of their community.
Yeah, so I've been listening to Thomas show for a while, and it's really important to, and it kind of goes along with the Director Pepper Social Club as well, is giving that opportunity to talk to other professionals in the field of how they handle various challenges, both mentally and physically, and those kind of opportunities for success, as I call them, to talk about things that we typically don't talk about. Yeah, it's usually budgets and programming and that kind of stuff, but there's also the mental and physical health that the staff need to have that opportunity to talk about those things, so they can have a holistic work life, and personal life as well. And Tom does a great job of being able to have that forum and that platform with professionals on how they handle those different kind of opportunities there. So it's a great show.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. And many parents might have been, just talking a little bit about that show, many parents might have been in some parent-teacher conference saying, your child's a little different. And now these same children are running Parks and Rec departments. And so it goes to show that even though they might not have, they might have been kind of the odd man out in their classroom, but then as they grew up and matured as adults, these are some of the most creative people that are truly passionate about what they do. And so they talk about that kind of mental health journey, which happens right in Parks and Rec at after school care or coaching. All these children are coming into our programs. And so that's a great show. All right. So this is our latest edition, Arts in Parks and Rec. Did you get a chance to see her show?
I did. Yes, I did. It was, I love how Beatrice brings art alive. You know what I mean? During her show, and the conversations that they had was really uplifting, because this is a part that people don't see. Again, when Craig created this whole major, incredible team, he wanted to pull back the curtain on how different parts of Parks, Recreation, Community Services operates. And Beatrice does a great job of bringing in these professionals. And what I really love that I've taken some notes that I'll be doing as well, is after her show, she actually the next day she did an overview, but she was at one of her new programs that she was doing. So that opens up another part of how arts makes a complete city, or makes a complete community. And so it was really really great. Her first show was last week. So it was pretty cool. We got some really good people out there.
Yeah, and one of the things that, just about her background a little bit, she came from Columbia, where arts is just thriving for all ages, for all demographics. So even a child that might be struggling financially still has access to elite level ballet classes. And here in America, it was just so unaffordable. So she was able to take something she's passionate about, She was elevated as one of the best ballerinas really in the world, and has choreographed music videos, Hollywood films and stuff. And then I was able to offer the same elite level ballet classes to everyone in the Hollywood area because she was working through Parks and Recreation. And you see that a lot of the performing arts and visual arts are being run as programs in Parks and Rec departments. And she's kind of part of that whole ecosystem. And she's highlighting Parks and Rec departments that have an arts part of their programming across America. And so,
Yeah, I need to get Miss Lorena. Miss Lorena does our ballet folkloric for the city of Lake Elsinore, and
yes.
she is incredible. But here's the thing, and this goes right to Beatrice, where she's an international, dancer. Miss Lorena is an international dancer from here in Lake Elsinore. She has embraced the ballet folkloric, and actually she's done our preschool program as well. And she's going to take a step back from the preschool and focus more on the ballet folkloric. She does it internationally, and she's actually going to
Wow.
Mexico with students from Lake Elsinore. So
Yeah.
I would love to connect those two and hear the conversation they would have and show people that, you know, even though you think you're doing a small program in your city, it actually has international or national types of uh, you know, goals that you can go to, that some of these kids that are in your program now could be the next Miss Lorena or next uh, Beatrice, or, and they can see and they can be that beacon of who they want to be. So it's pretty cool. Very
Oh,
cool.
right. Yeah, she does a great job, and then, I'd love for her to maybe do a show live from one of her ballet classes, or maybe one of her, you know, choreographs where she's making all the dances and all that kind of stuff. I think that would just be amazing. All right, let's go to the next one. Oh, look at the man, Aaron Lux. He has been a force of nature. He is exploding online. It's you ought to check out his little shorts that he makes on Instagram, and he's just a content creation machine. And actually has somewhat of a radio background when he was younger, so he's just a great show host. And his show is all about, it's the U Sports Mastery Show, but it's all about rec sports. He's got like 4 decades in rec sports, so he has some of the greatest coaches in America, pro athletes, athletic directors, sports officials. His show is actually so popular, we're actually having to open up a second time slot. So he'll hopefully soon be doing 2 shows a week. But for now, you can catch him on Thursdays, 1:30 p.m. Eastern time. How important is rec sports I say when you were, you're not there yet. We're almost going to say back when you were in Parks and Rec.
Well, first of all, I'll never be out of Parks and Rec.
Right?
When it's in your blood, you can't get a transfusion
Like the
and become
mafia.
like
You're
an
never leaving.
accountant. Yeah, exactly. They draw me back in. But
Right.
youth sports it was really huge. I grew up. I've told you before that there was 8 of us.
Mm.
In the Skinner household, and some of us went into sports. And my sister, ironically, it'd be kind of interesting to see my sister actually be on Beatrice's show too, because when she was growing up, she was a dancer, and she still dances today. So that would be really kind of cool. But youth sports is really where I was able to hone some of my leadership skills, of being, an assistant coach. I actually coach high school basketball, and I've coached my kids in volleyball, soccer, basketball, whatever. But I love Aaron's view on it as far as the recreational component. Not
Mhm.
every kid, though parents don't believe this, not every child is going to be the next, Aaron Judge or Emmett Smith or whatever. But the recreational component of the teamwork, the winning and losing, the 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 basics of sports can build that platform for you to be successful in, whether it's parks and recreation, whether it's business, whether it's communications. That youth sports basis has really been successful for me and for my kids. And now my grandkids are starting to go through that too. And Aaron, with all his connections and his experience is really great. I have seen his Instagram shorts. Um, because of John and because of Aaron and others, I've looked at my podcast and going to be making some changes here as well. But Aaron is one of those true blue kind of guys. He'll sit there and talk to you about sports, but he'll talk to you about other things as well. So he's
Oh yeah.
definitely a great person to have part of this DPRS media
Yeah.
family.
Hey, Carlo, why don't you write down Coach Pete Boudreau, one of the greatest coaches, high school coaches in America. There's an award that one high school coach a year on all sports throughout the country. They receive one award for, I guess, the best. They highlight their career as the best coach, and he received this award. He was actually my coach in high school. I think he coached like 29 or 30 state championships throughout his career. Just an amazing coach. I'd love to get him on Aaron's show, but I can honestly say some of the best life lessons I got from Coach Pete Boudreau when I was in high school that still stick with me today. And so he gets a lot of coaches like that that have dedicated their life to youth sports. All right, let's see what's next. Youth Sports Young Professionals Network.
I know that guy.
Yeah. So we actually have a couple of interns that ran this one. This show has been run by several people. We're opening this up to the young professionals to kind of take this as their own. I don't know if you know Molly Keys or Gabby Vera. Did you know any of them?
Oh my God. You talking about Gabster?
Yeah.
I love the Gabster.
Gabby.
Yeah, Gabby Vera and I we got to know each other through a mutual friend, Jason Hendricks, who was on my podcast a little while ago. And Gabby and I keep in touch. Years ago, when I started doing more sessions at NRPA, Jason reached out to me and says, "Hey, Papa J, I have a friend by the name of Gabby who's going to be doing a session at NRPA, and people, and do you mind hyping her up?" So I went and took a look at the sessions they were doing, and of course, me, I'm a little shy with people, so I made a couple of posts on LinkedIn and some other places, and actually saw her session, blew it out of the water.
Yeah.
She's amazing. She's won state awards for her leadership. She has won national awards through NRPA for her leadership. She is a force, and I said it before, she's a force to be reckoned with, it as far as being young director and young leader. And YPN, the Young Professionals Network, is how she got her start. I think I mentioned it before. The Reckless team, of Shane Mize, Jay Tryon, and Tom Venero, they are really big on YPN in NRPA. And so Gabby has been recognized by them. The Young Professional Network is an opportunity, and I've had my own team watch this the podcast and try to participate in the podcast, because those are our leaders going forward in Parks, Recreation, and Community Services. And this is a great platform from them to hear from other ones. Again, how I always say, with this type of format, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You just maybe need to change your tires.
That's
And
it.
so this is giving them that opportunity to hear from others and take pieces of that. And as Giovanni Huerta says, sprinkle some cinnamon on it to make it work within their agency itself. So
Yeah.
this is a great opportunity for that to happen.
Yeah, well, Gabby introduced me and Molly introduced me to YPN. I'd never heard of the Young Professionals Network, and so it wasn't long after that we decided to create a show every Thursday at 5 p.m. And we had our interns run it. I've got a couple other interns in the pipeline that also would like to help run the Young Professionals Network show. But Gabby was one of those park rats, as she claims, in the Miami area. And so she grew up in Parks and Rec. Like, I think at 4 years old, she was in after school care. That was pretty much her family. She grew up as had a single mom. And so her pretty much friends and family was Parks and Rec kids.
Mhm.
And she told me when she was young, she looked up at the director and she was like, "I'm going to have your job one day." She was right.
I could definitely see that happening. I
Yeah.
definitely see that
Yeah.
happening.
And for those of you who haven't heard of the Reckless podcast, they do great work. They've been doing this for, I think they're coming up on a third or fourth year. So please go find them on social media, give them a like and a subscribe, share, all that kind of stuff. They're really doing great work, and we want to support all the great content creators in the Parks and Rec community. All right, next, I think this is a big one. Oh, look at this
Hey,
guy.
I know
Man,
that dude.
let me tell you, he's coming on like gangbusters. Papa J, we met through, let me see, it was
It's Liddy.
Liddy Gutfeld was the one that introduced me. She's like, "You got to get him on your show." And so we did, and then another one, and then another one. And then I'm like, "Hey, I heard there's rumors that you might be retiring. What are you doing after retirement?"
Oh my God, yeah, that
Yeah.
was, and I remember that whole time when you called me, or
Yeah.
you did an email and then you called me, and then I said, I don't know, because I've been, at the time I was getting a lot of strange calls from people, and
Uh-huh.
reached out to the Lidster and go, Liddy, this guy Craig, what do you know? It's, oh, he's a great guy. He's starting this new podcasting thing. I think he'd be good on it. And then once we started talking, did that first show. I got hooked. It was
Yeah.
like podcast crack,
Yeah.
And then you called again, and then you called again, and then we was it CPRS or
Yeah.
NRPA?
CPRS, we
CPRS.
connected.
CPRS. I actually did a live show with it there, and then oh my God, and so yeah, you really gave me an opportunity to look at what I would be doing after I retired, which again, June 12th will be the date. And we went back and forth. Craig and I were like, okay. And I was like, no, I need to wait until after I finish, when I'm done. And I was talking to my wife, Janelle, who Craig and I got to meet his beautiful wife, Sherry, at a conference. But Janelle would say, well, honey, you go ahead and start doing this now. See if you like it or not. And
Mhm.
me being shy and everything. And
Uh,
Craig actually um, got me on my first podcast, which was so awesome. And from that time, I've been able to meet so many different people and the various podcasters that we have, and bring in some of my colleagues that help me be successful in parks, recreation, and community services, but also outside of parks and recreation and community
mhm.
services, to see how they actually meld together. We were talking about John Prue. Um, every month, I'm sorry, every month Craig has a meeting with us of his team, and John Prue has given us so much great information. I actually went through that this morning when I was not sleeping, because I don't sleep a lot. So I went through and used the AI to look at my different podcasts that I've done. And it's given me some really, really great information that I see Aaron already uses, our water boy Wesley uses, and John uses. I'm like, wow, this can be a great opportunity for me to share my mentors with people, but bringing other groups outside of what traditional recreation is, and showing how recreation can make cities successful. And
Yeah.
so there's going to be some change with this, but this has been a great opportunity for me. Every Friday, sometimes I'm traveling. Craig and I had talked about, eventually we're gonna, he's gonna, DPRS is gonna be big enough that he's gonna get me a a
An
trailer,
RV.
an RV, and I'll be traveling down and fishing with Dave, and I'll be going up in this time. That's long term, but yeah, it's a great show. Hopefully, you guys will come and listen and take some nuggets with you, some cinnamon that you can sprinkle on different kind of things, and meet some really great people that make parks, recreation, community services a great industry to be in.
Yeah. And that's one thing I noticed when I first started looking at your content that you were creating with your little shorts and stuff. I'm like, Johnathan just seems like a great spokesperson for the industry. Having that person that's approachable, that highlights the great stuff that Parks and Rec does, but also you can tell Johnathan has just a great time doing what he's doing. And so that's one of the reasons I wanted to help you create your own show, is because you just really have lived the message and lived the mission and the vision of Parks and Recreation. And I think if more people see you and your content, then I think we can bring a lot of new people into the industry that, may not have even heard about it or even thought of this as a career path just by watching your story play out.
Well, I appreciate that. And, after we go through all of our shows, I'll tell you about my retirement party that happened this last weekend. And it's one of those things, as you talk about, it's life affirming. You always got to find your why. Why do you do this? Why did you go this
Yeah.
path and not that path? And the people that were there, it was really life affirming. It's like, yes, this last 40 plus 50 years, however you want to look at it, I did the right thing. I got in the right field and everything. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. You definitely hit the lottery. If you land in this industry, you might not know it, but you hit the lottery. It's really going
exactly.
to pay off for life. All right. So our last show of the week,
The water
Wesley
boy.
King, man, the aquatics life. Yeah, I had him on the show last week, and I didn't realize how extensive his aquatics background goes. I mean, since he was a child, he actually ran the largest water park in America
Hmm.
for quite a while, and then all the way up to everything he's done in aquatics. He is just a wealth of knowledge. One of the things I was like, well, what are we going to do for the first few episodes? And I said, Wesley, why don't we just create some educational programming for like the first couple. And then 13 episodes later, we're still creating educational material because it's like, is there a bottom to this? And he's like, man, I have educated people on aquatics for decades. And so it really is great to produce a show that creates evergreen content that's going to be valuable to the end of time for all aquatics professionals. So if you know of an aquatics professional in America, just go on our YouTube channel, find the playlist that's on the aquatics life, and just press play. I promise you, all are going to get something out of it. Maybe you can speak a little bit about, waterfront properties, aquatics, all this kind of stuff. What role does that kind of play in the park systems that you've been in?
Well, I think it's really important now, especially here being in Lake Elsinore. We have so many properties that abut the lake.
Hmm.
And some are in Lake Elsinore proper, and then some are in the county. And so we have an interesting balance because we there's individual property owners around the lake, so they are responsible for their properties. The lake itself is we oversee the activities in the lake, so water skiing, boating, anything that's on top of the water. We work with the local uh, sheriff's department, Riverside County Sheriffs. They go ahead and do the enforcement, and we do the fish stockings and those kind of things. And then the Elsinore Valley Municipal Water District gets us the water. So there's so many different entities that go around with that. What we try to do, especially through Bo Davis, I talk a lot about Bo Davis. He's our assistant director. Justin Harding is one of our coordinators that oversees the aquatics um, uh, part that we teach during the summer. And unfortunately, we don't have our own pool. But with us having a water body in the middle of the lake, we want to try to do as much as we can to make sure those kids and adults are safe. Now, unfortunately, there have been some individuals who think they know more about water than they do, and unfortunately, there have been some people lost. But
Mm.
what we try to do is make sure that we have different um, opportunities for them to be safe. So we've actually put up water life vests around the lake that people
Hmm.
can use and put back. And the aquatics programs that we've done, through our lifeguards and training are really important for anybody who is, a toddler all the way to seniors themselves. And we, thanks to Justin, we've actually started to expand out and do programs for to make sure they're inclusion programs. So
Mm,
ones ADA programs as well. So I think that's really important. And when you talk to Wesley, he's one of those that he has no, it's a no pun intended, but he's got water in the brain. He
right.
is always thinking of how we can educate people so they can be safer in the water. And it's in the cool thing, when he talks about it, he's not only talking about swimming and life preserve those kind of things. He's also talk about boating. People on
Mm,
the water who are boating or who are jet skiing or who are kite sailing and those kind of things. Because when people think about aquatics, they pretty much think about, okay, a pool and those kind of those water bodies. He thinks about lakes and he thinks about oceans and he thinks about those other things to make sure that people are not focused on just a pool. It's
mm.
all water bodies. And your fun and your recreation on those water bodies are really important.
Yeah, yeah, and if you missed last week's episode, he had a specialist that came on. I forget the show. It was
He was the Power Rangers.
yes,
He was
yes.
Power Rangers.
Yeah, that was cool. He's just had some really good show guests as he's starting to bring guests onto the show. The first few shows were just me and him, grinding through the education component, which we're still going to create educational content. But now he's got like a stockpile of future guests that we want to bring on and stuff. So, yeah, definitely. And that's our last show of the week. All right. So we blew through our point.
Yeah, I was looking at 35. I'm getting in trouble because of you.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
Carlo, I'm sorry. I was looking, I'm like, okay, we're at 28. Oh, now we're at 35. So
That's it. All right. So we have a little transition video that we use to kind of tie all the shows together. This might be the last week y'all see this because one of our very gifted video editors is working on an upgraded version 2.0 after our last host meeting of how we kind of improve that. But while we got it, why don't you go ahead and run that first transition and then go ahead and play the Aquatics Life show as the promo right after that. And then we'll come right back and finish up our conversation with Johnathan.
It's not just water. It's responsibility. It's leadership. It's not just drowning prevention or water safety. It's life. And every day, aquatics professionals make decisions that save lives. Because aquatics is more than swim lessons. It's community. It's creativity. It's impact. For over 30 years, aquatics hasn't just been my profession. It's been my life. I've seen the challenges, the pressure, the grind, but I've also seen the power of great leadership and what happens when communities come together. This is where education meets entertainment, where real conversations happen, where aquatics professionals come together to learn, lead, and grow. Because aquatics should bring people together. This is Aquatics Life, streaming on DPRS Media Network.
Man, I love that promo. I can't
I
can't wait till each of the shows is getting their own promo put together. So I know my show and yours are in the pipeline. I think John's is next, Johnathan Prue. But I wanted to talk about the transition because right now you're kind of in this transition period, and I know it's kind of bittersweet. Maybe just talk about looking back. Before we get into that, I think somebody has joined us.
Oh, who's joining us? Who
Let's
is it?
see. There he is. Thomas
Hey,
White,
everybody.
a
Good to
cool
see you.
guy.
How are you?
Fantastic, man.
Good.
How are you doing?
Guys, I am so sorry. We had a complete cell outage in McDonough where we were at. I had to drive 15 miles just to get enough service to jump on right now.
Oh my goodness.
I am
I gotta
so
wait,
sorry.
let me get
Yeah.
a tissue. I'm so excited that you're here, Thomas. It's
Yeah,
so
I,
great.
I am thrilled. I couldn't miss it. I have never been on an episode with Papa J, so I had to come on and do it. Like there was no way around it.
You know, I think
Fantastic.
I have a name for our show right now. The Three Bald Guys with Glasses.
What's that?
That's it.
That's
Yeah,
our show.
yeah. There you go.
That's all right.
There you go. Y'all are probably getting I have my phone, so I really can't see the view you're getting of me right now, but it's probably not the most flattering view at the
No,
moment.
you're looking good, man.
You got to
You're
be
looking
safe
good.
while you're driving, though. But so glad to have
Right,
you
but
here.
there was
You
no
know,
way I was going to miss. There's no way I was going to miss having y'all on
Yeah.
here.
Well, while we got you here, as long as cell coverage holds, why don't you tell us a little bit about your show, the idea you had behind it? Me and Johnathan were talking about it, but you know, I'd love for you to kind of share the mission and vision and the inspiration you had on why you created that show.
So 2 shows that I want to talk about. First was the Safe Spaces and Green Spaces show. That's the first Wednesday of every month, though Craig has mentioned to me several times about doing more than one episode a month. But that is about creating a safe work environment for Parks and Rec professionals in which they can be themselves. Even with their mental health issues and everything going on, they can be themselves, be who they are, and just succeed in innovation, creativity, all of that.
Yeah.
And then the other show is, of course, the Rec Room. And we appear in the Rec Room every single second Tuesday of every month. In fact, we have our 1-year anniversary episode tomorrow. So you will hear from all of us. So I encourage all of you to come and join us on the Rec Room on that day. And it'll be an absolutely outstanding episode. We have JP, our director, and everybody in our leadership team is going to be there for you guys so that y'all can saw it. Okay, I finally got to a place where I can stop. So
there
let
he
me
is.
unmount
Oh, hey.
here so you get a better view. There we go. So yeah, it's really exciting what all we've got going on tomorrow. It's going to be great. We encourage everyone to come and join us and just have a great time with the Rec Room.
Yeah, fantastic. I can't believe it's already been a year. I know this is, I think it was the first show.
This is, yeah, exactly. So this is going to be episode number 12 because we skipped one episode. So this will be episode number 12. Wow, I just realized how much more gray my beard has been since I got on a podcast last. Wow.
That
Maybe
wisdom.
time to invest in some dye. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. See, you guys pull it off well, but I don't know. My pale skin, it's blending in a little bit. I don't know.
It's all that wisdom coming out.
There it
Yeah.
is.
Exactly. But I have to get off. I just wanted to stop in.
Oh, I guess he really had to get off.
Yeah, he wasn't joking.
Oh man, but his show, you know, I saw Thomas's Safe Spaces show, and he had his guest, the interaction back and forth, and the realness of it is really important, I think, to the listener and the watcher to be able to say, well, yeah, I've felt that, and I went through this, and this is how I overcame. And that was the cool thing, is they talked about where they were at and how they overcame that. And I think people can take those kind of situations away. So I'm glad he popped on. That was really cool.
Yeah.
One of the things that we had talked about, what Craig does, and I mentioned this before, is once a month we get together as a podcast team, and we talk about different things. And one of the opportunities for success we talked about is having kind of like a Brady Bunch, like once a month or once a quarter, where you get all the podcasters together, and the doorkeeper, the doorman, Craig would be in the middle, and then we'd all be around, and possibly ask a few question about something like that. And I think it'd be great for the various watchers to be able to come in once a quarter to see us all together and go, oh, that's the show. Oh, I want to see that show, and I want to see that show. And I think that'd
Yeah.
be great with our
Oh,
little.
that would be.
That would be really cool. Okay, Carlo and Jovi, get on that right now. I want to see that in by Monday.
The little Brady Bunch thing.
No, but I can't say enough of what you did with this whole idea that you had. And I remember our first encounter, and I mentioned, okay, you'd wanted to get to a certain level at that time, and I said you're going to reach that and then eclipse that, and you've done that in 17, 18 months. That's pretty darn cool, pretty darn
Yeah.
cool. So
Yeah, when you got talented people, it's really, you just kind of, I feel like literally I maybe have built a stage, but the performers are you guys. Like, y'all are the show. I'm kind of like the mic man, setting up the cameras and the lights and the flashy stuff, but I'm handing y'all the mic, and y'all are just doing an amazing job presenting. I like how you said it's the realism. Like, one thing I love about all of our show hosts, they really dig into what's happening on the front line with kids and with cities and with Parks and Rec directors, and how they're just managing life in the Parks and Rec community. And it seems like, whether we're talking about coaching and the impact that it has on the little kids when they're growing up, or whether it's Wesley, helping people run aquatic centers where people are learning life-saving skills, or whether it's you talking to the directors that have committed their entire life to this, it seems to be all just very real life situations, and we're able to just, live right there on the show, talk about what the whole country is facing, and highlight both the problems and solutions that we're overcoming and facing. And that's what I love about all the different show hosts, is they all hit it from a different angle, but it's all very real stuff that you can just, like, all red meat. So really enjoying it.
yeah, I'm pretty excited about this Friday. So this Friday, I have a good friend of mine. His name is Sven Leff. He is the general manager of Truckee Tahoe Parks and Recreation District up in Tahoe. We've worked together for many years. We've actually spoken at several conferences across the country. He's a really great guy, and we're going to delve into our relationship of how we work together, but also about the different types of challenges, opportunities for success that he's had over the many years. And that's the goal of the director Pepper Social Club, which is probably going to maybe have some changes coming up, because again, wanting to show everybody the reach that Parks, Recreation, and Community Services has not only in our field, but also how it touches community development, economic development, city management. And so there'll be some that are heavily into Parks and Recreation, but those also that are on the periphery that help us make a great city, because
Yeah.
a great city has a great Parks, Recreation, and Community Services department, and they don't only deal with that, they also work with our police department or our public works department. So there's those opportunities about that. So you were asking a question about the transition,
Yes.
and I am in the transition, literally. What is it?
It's in hours.
It's in hours. Yeah, today's the 9th. The 12th will be my last day working for the city of Lake Elsinore. It has been a very great experience. Being in the field for 40 years plus. Here in California and in Reno, and then in Tahoe and everything like that. And you do a lot of reflection. Have I had an impact on the locations that I've been at? Well, this last weekend, my wife graciously put together a retirement party, and invited some of my colleagues from literally across the country that actually came. I was really surprised that they actually came. One that came the farthest, his name is Sonny Cooper, Coach Sonny. Sonny and I used to coach our kids in football but he's in the auto industry. And this shows about the correlation of how recreation can go far beyond.
Mhm.
He's in manufacturing of certain car parts. And when he was there, and became the MC, Janelle says, "Honey, I don't want you making any speeches." Okay, I won't make any speeches. Well, Sonny got up. He's If people think I'm gregarious, this guy is times 50, right?
Wow.
So yeah, yeah, and he's a Detroit Lions fan. Go figure. Cowboys and Lions, but he related a lot of our experience together and our management styles on how we would coach and how we would interact with people and how we would uh, create teams and make them successful. Um, that was a really big eye opener. There was a lot of people that were there. I was very blessed with that. Directors and managers in community services. The director of Riverside County was there. Kyla Brown was there, and she said some really great things. Bo Davis was there, said some really awesome things. But one that really shook me to the core was it's a young man. I've talked about him before, Brandon Fuentes, who was a student here in Lake Elsinore. He was in our Future Leaders program, which teaches kids about government. He was also in the ROTC in high school. He received the Carl Graves Scholarship, which is a scholarship that was left by he was the finance director for the city. He was also worked for the school district. He left us $1 million to go ahead and do scholarship every year. So we did scholarships for $4,000 a year for 4 years for students who did an application and were selected. And then we had one for ROTC, which was $6,000 a year for 4 years. So Brandon applied for it and got it. Very excited about him. He participated in our youth and future leaders program for 2 years. He told the story yesterday that I didn't know about. I know he went to UCLA, but what he did in 5 minutes is made this old man cry, because he was saying that the reason he got to where he is now, and he's in Space Force. He's now a lieutenant. He's 22, 23 years old.
Mhm.
But he told a story about how I was able to teach him about LinkedIn. I said you had to get a LinkedIn, so he still has it now. He says, "You taught me how to do a proper handshake. You taught me how to do a proper interview." And just a real quick story. Um, but when I was talking to the commander, who I had to do an interview with the commander, so you taught me how to put together a portfolio. So I had my portfolio, and I had the interview skills that you taught me, and how to do a good handshake and eye contact. And I went in and I did this interview with him. And at the end of the interview, he said, "I have never seen anybody who was so polished and ready for the next phase of his life.
Wow.
Tell me what school you want to go to." And Brandon says, "Well, I'd really like to go to UCLA." He says, "You'll get a call this afternoon." That afternoon, he got a call from UCLA and got accepted to UCLA, where he graduated, went into the Air Force, which switched to Space Force, got a position of controlling satellites in Alaska.
No way.
Then he got transferred to Ventura, which is not too far away from us, Oxnard Ventura area, where he then became a lieutenant, first lieutenant, and he credited that to what we taught him in the Future Leaders program. What he said he learned from me, I don't know. He said he learned it from me, and he would not be as successful if it wasn't for his interaction with me. And I'll tell you, I cried. I mean, the
Mhm.
fact that you wonder, are the things that I'm doing going to have a positive effect on the community itself? That, for him coming from Oxnard to the Temecula area for my retirement party. He says, he calls me Mr. Johnathan. Said, Mr. Johnathan, I would not have missed this for the world.
Mm,
Um, and for him to speak in front of these leaders that happen to be there, it it just reaffirmed what our field can do for somebody who didn't even go into recreation. He was going to go into public. He wanted to go into public administration because of me, and the city itself. I don't want to make it sound like it was me, but he reflected it on our interaction together, that he was going to go in public administration. He ended up going and having, right now he has a successful career in the military because of the things that we were able to teach him
yeah.
through this program. So when you get something like that, this kid that was shy, and by the way, every year at UCLA when he had his break, he would come back and volunteer at the city, in the city
Man.
clerk's office. So,
Yeah.
those kind of things, it's just he's one of the kids. When I don't like talking about the induction in the Hall of Fame, because I don't want to make it about me, but he's like, Mr. Johnathan, it was my honor to write you that letter for
Yeah.
the induction into the Hall of Fame. So
Yeah, I think one of the things that we're highlighting here is oftentimes, especially when we're young, we're like, what am I doing? What am I going to do with my life? And then later on, you ask, what am I doing with my life? And so a lot of times we're looking for the people around us that we feel like are living a good life, have fulfillment in their job, just have joy in their life. And I think that's who you are for a lot of people that were just around you. And so, like you said, a lot of times when we're just doing what we do, we don't realize the impact we have on the people around us until we get to these stages in our life where we're transitioning and, we're kind of moving through life. And then all of a sudden these people come back in and they tell us the impact that we had on their lives. And oftentimes we're not even trying to have the impact. We're just doing a normal day. But for them, those are pivotal moments in their life. And this is happening across the country. Men and women like yourself doing the same thing.
oh,
Oh,
my buddy Sonny
yeah,
Coop. Yes, it was
that's
very
it.
moving story. Your leadership shadows. Sonny, I paid him to do this, so
Yeah,
you'll check us in the mail there, Detroit.
right.
Maybe you'll get a winning season this year. But this is something else that Craig is starting to, with Carlo and Jovi and the rest of the team, is if you guys are watching live, we would really love to hear from you. They'll go ahead and put these up. Sonny, I love you, man. I was so glad. By the way, Sonny was a surprise. I had no idea he was coming. So we did our kids fishing derby that morning,
Yeah.
and I was all excited about that. But my Janelle calls and says, "Hey, the sink is busted. You got to fix the sink." I'm like, "Okay, I'm there." My granddaughter is helping me. She's my little mini me, and all of a sudden I feel this heavy thing on my head when I'm trying underneath the sink trying to fix it. I'm like, "Honey, stop playing around. Stop playing around." Well, you got to turn around. There was Sonny, all the way from Detroit, him and his beautiful wife, Wendy. And we've been friends. We go visit them. This is the first time he actually came to our house and visited us. And like I said, Sonny is gregarious. You think of me, times it by a billion, and then you have Sonny. And he is one of those that people gravitate to. He has an impact on all the people that were there because he exudes caring. His family is amazing, and I love that guy, and I appreciate you chiming in here, Sonny.
Yeah, fantastic. One thing I wanted to ask you kind of towards the end of the show is, have you had the opportunity to really hand the torch over to the next person? Do you know who's kind of going to try to fill your shoes? I know those are going to be impossible to fill, but do they have any have they kind of told you who's going to kind of doing the same work you're doing over there?
Well, no, they there's a whole process that they go
Yeah.
to. Luckily, we have a great group of people here that I've had an opportunity to hire, and the assistant director, Bo Davis, is very amazing, very talented. I told a story about him coming in with an idea for after school program. He was able to work with the school district. He was able to get an initial program. When I gave my speech at the induction ceremony, he had brought in $900,000. He had just made a really big proposal, him and the team, to get one for $3.4 million from the school district.
Wow.
I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at. Ben Foster is our senior management analyst. He's a jack of all trades that is able to do a lot of different things. You look at Priscilla Perez, who runs our senior center, Julie, who works over there with her, Alejandra, who does our summer day camps, Justin, who does the aquatics, Lennox, who does the Excel program, the one I just talked about, Missy and Giovanni, who do our special events, Linda, who keeps us all in line and makes sure everything. So there's a lot of great staff here that do a lot of great things. Have they made a decision? I don't know. All I know is the staff that are here are going to make things even better.
Yeah.
Than, and you always want to leave a place better than when you came. I feel that fortunately I was able to do that with this incredible staff that are here.
Fantastic. Well, Papa Jay, thank you so much for coming on the show today, and thank you for helping us to create great content for this industry. I don't think enough can be said about the work that goes on in Parks and Rec, creating community, creating fun. This is really the fun department of America.
And remember, everybody, listen, I have my show on Friday, 9 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Central, and noon Eastern. This week, we have Sven Leff. It's going to be a fun time. Hopefully, we'll see you there on Friday.
Fantastic. Well, this was a great show, Carlo. That's a wrap, and we will see y'all here again tomorrow. Y'all take care, guys. Love y'all. Bye.
In today's parks and recreation industry, communication, safety, and efficiency go hand in hand. That's where Outdoor Link comes in, delivering smart technology that empowers city departments and community planners to do more, smarter. Outdoor Link's platform connects and automates everything that keeps your parks running smoothly, from lighting and locks to signage, water features, Wi-Fi, and digital advertising. Control and schedule park lights for safety and energy savings. Remotely manage facility access. Coordinate fountains and splash pads. Provide public connectivity. All from one simple, unified platform, giving you real-time control, data, and cost efficiency. For parks and recreation agencies, that means safer spaces, smarter resource use, faster responses, and stronger community engagement. And behind every great park story is great infrastructure. That's why Outdoor Link proudly supports DPRS Media Company, helping the daily Parks and Rec show amplify the voices of professionals shaping our communities every day. Outdoor Link, smart, connected solutions for parks, recreation, and beyond.
They say it's Just Rec. Just Rec, where kids learn to try again. Just Rec, where confidence begins. Where teamwork, effort, and fun matter more than trophies. It's not about perfection. It's about participation. It's not just rec. It's where kids learn to love the game and themselves. It's just rec until they learn teamwork for life. It's just rec, but it's everything to them. It's more than rec. It's a movement. It's just rec until you realize it's shaping the next generation. Together, we're not just running programs. We're building a culture of confidence, connection, and community. Join us.
This episode is brought to you by SDSU's Sports MBA program. If you're passionate about sports and want to work in the women's sports industry, then this is the time to pay attention. SDSU's program is 12 months accelerated hands-on learning where students have actually gotten to work with teams like the San Diego Mojo, partnered with the Farmers Insurance Open, and visited headquarters like the Upper Deck or Callaway Golf. It's built for people who want to be in rooms like that. So if you're interested, deadlines are approaching. Learn more or apply with the links in the description.
In the parks and recreation industry, attention is limited, but influence is everything. Every day, thousands of parks and recreation professionals make critical decisions. Decisions on infrastructure, programs, technology, and vendors. The question is your brand part of that conversation? DPRS Media Network was built to answer that question. We are a dedicated media ecosystem focused exclusively on the parks and recreation industry in the United States. Through a network of daily and weekly shows, we inform, connect, and influence this audience. Our distribution spans multiple platforms: LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, X, Instagram, plus email campaigns, newsletters, podcasts, and live event coverage. This is not a single-channel strategy. It is a multi-platform media engine. Today, our network reaches over 214,000 connections, including 51,000 on LinkedIn, 64,000 on Facebook, nearly 40,000 email subscribers, and thousands more across podcast and social platforms. While some audiences overlap, our true value is not just reach, it is relevance. We speak directly to parks and recreation directors, program managers, and industry leaders, an audience that is highly targeted and actively engaged. Through DPRS Media Network, your brand integrates seamlessly into this ecosystem. Through sponsored show segments, targeted advertisement placements, podcast features, and host-read promotions, even custom-branded content. Not as interruptions, but as part of the conversation. And we don't just operate online. We attend over 15 major parks and recreation conventions each year, reaching more than 24,000 professionals in person. Through live shows, interviews, and on-site media coverage, we position our partners at the center of the industry. Every piece of content we produce is amplified across our entire network. Multiple shows, multiple hosts, multiple platforms. Your message doesn't appear once, it multiplies. This is more than advertising. It is strategic positioning within a trusted media network built specifically for the parks and recreation industry. If your goal is to reach decision makers, build credibility, and stay top of mind, then it's time to partner with DPRS Media Network. Apply for partnership or sponsorship today. Let's position your brand where the industry is already paying attention.